8.2, the cost of renting a home. So buying a house is one of the biggest purchases most of us will make in our lives. Okay, biggest as in like the most expensive. And it's definitely an investment. Purchasing a home is very expensive, and many young individuals find it difficult to do these things. Save for a down payment, okay, because saving's difficult. Well, when you finish school, you're buying a car, you have payments on that. You may move out, now you have rent payments, okay, or getting approved. Okay, so you have to make enough money, your credit score has to be good enough, and houses are now super expensive. Okay, there are some requirements of buying a home, such as, okay, so here are some requirements. First of all, you need a down payment. What is a down payment? It's the initial payment when purchasing a home. Okay, the initial payment. Okay, there's something called CMHC fees. So this is insurance that actually protects the bank, not the buyer, just in case the buyer defaults on the mortgage. So if you put less than 20% of a down payment on your house, you have to purchase this CMHC insurance. Okay, it's non-optional insurance that protects banks against mortgage defaults paid by the individual who obtains the mortgage. The only good thing about this is that you don't have to pay this out of pocket. You can just add it to your mortgage. Okay, but it basically negates the down payment. Sad face. Okay, fixed expenses, regularly occurring expenses that are at the same time and are the same amount. Okay, this is really important. Fixed expenses, same time, same amount. Okay, so you got to think to yourself, what do you pay exactly the same every single month? Okay, these expenses are unlikely to change within the year, but may alter every 12 months. For example, your rent. Your rent is the exact same time, the exact same amount every month. But at the end of the year, it may go up. Okay, mortgage payment, insurance as well, car insurance, house insurance. Okay, same time every month, but after 12 months, it may go up, depending on if you had a claim or something like that. Okay, now there are variable expenses, and these may change in frequency and or amount. Okay, so there's changes in them. They don't happen at the same time every month. They're just like random expenses. For example, electricity, you might get a bill every month, but electricity goes up or down. Food, you're not going to go once a month on like the first Saturday of the month and spend the exact same amount of money, right? You might go 2 or 3 times a week, so that fluctuates up and down. Same with car maintenance. You're not going to get your winter tires on in the summer, or you're not going to get an oil change when you don't need it. But when it comes up, you need to put out the money for that. Okay, utilities. This is like water, electricity, and heating. You need that on a house. They consider that too, the banks. A non-utility is something that you don't actually need, so it's optional. You don't actually need the internet, cable, and surprisingly, air conditioning. This is just a luxury. A lot of people don't have air conditioning. Okay, a lease is a written agreement that outlines conditions and terms of a property rental. Okay, so a lease is when you rent. Okay, you can lease a car. It's basically like renting a car. Okay, you lease a house, renting a house. And then we have tenant and landlord. So the tenant is someone who rents accommodations, and a landlord is someone who owns that property and then rents to the tenant. Okay, apartment rental. After the first year in college, many students move off campus. Okay, so first year, a lot of people move on campus, then they move off campus, out of residence, and a lot of individuals now live in either an apartment or a house close to the campus. And some of these students live alone, others rent together. Example 1, an apartment with fixed expenses. So Erin has found a 1-bedroom apartment that costs $9.45 per month. Okay, so I'm just going to start listing these. Okay, so rent is $9.45 per month. Okay, which includes utilities. So that's important because now Erin doesn't have to pay such things as heat or hydro, or maybe air conditioning if it comes with that as well. Okay, a parking pass costs $40 a month. Sometimes you have to pay that where you live, and sometimes you have to pay it for school as well. So just be careful. Okay. If she rents the apartment, Erin will be required to sign a 1-year lease. Okay. So minimally, she's going to live there for 1 year. A, what is Erin's total rental cost per month with the parking pass? So even though it looks good, oh, $9.45, well, you have to add on another $40. Okay, so her total cost monthly is $985. Okay, and that's per month total. And B, how much will she pay over the term of the lease? So when we talk about term, we're talking about that 1 year. So Erin is going to pay $985, and she's going to have to live there for 12 months because that's the minimal. So over the term of the lease, she's going to pay $11,820. Over 1 year, she will pay $11,820. Forgot 0. There we go. Example 2, an apartment with fixed and variable expenses. So now we're going to add on to those fixed expenses. We're also going to talk about variable expenses. Okay, Chelsea's in her 3rd year of college and is a tenant in the basement apartment of a house. Her rent is $625 per month. Now we have plus utilities. So let's list. So rent is $625 per month. Okay, every 2 months she receives an electricity bill that averages $148. So electricity $148 per 2 months. So electricity used to always be billed every 2 months, and same with water. Now it's more common for it to be billed monthly, but it could still be every 2 months. Okay, every 4 months she received a water bill for approximately $105. Okay, water $105 for every 4 months. Okay, every month she receives an internet bill, which is not a utility, but for $65. That's monthly. Okay, she also purchases a phone plan, $78 monthly. Her cell phone, $78 per month. Okay, calculate Chelsea's total average expenses per month. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to convert all of these to a monthly bill. So this one's going to stay as $625. Since this is every 2 months, I'm going to do 148 divided by 2. So I'm going to line this up. Okay, 148 divided by 2 is 74. Okay, 105 divided by 4 months. We want to quote everything as monthly. 26.25. Okay, internet is fine. That's monthly, so we'll just do 65. And then phone is fine, that's monthly, 78. Okay, so if we actually add all those together, 625, 74, 26, 25, 65, and 78, her monthly bills are $868.25. Okay, so therefore, she pays $868.25 monthly. Okay, now B, estimate her total expenses from the beginning of September to the end of April. So we're talking about approximately like 1 school year. Okay, this is a number that you may want to know because you may not be working so much during the school year, so you need your OSAP to cover it, or you need your part-time job to cover it, or you're going to make a lot of money in the summer and then save up money so that you don't have to cover it later. Okay, so September to April, we have September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April, 8 months. Okay, so we're just going to take that 868.25 and we're going to just multiply it by 8. Okay, so during the actual school year itself, she's going to be paying $6,946. Okay, from September to April. The other thing is some leases, which they don't really do this anymore, but some leases are only 8-month leases, and then a lot of kids go home and live with their parents for the summer. Maybe they're from out of town. So that's another reason why you'd want that figure. I'm going to give you a definition of first and last. So landlords require tenants to pay 2 months rent of payments up front, and what we call this is first and last. Okay, this amount is 2 times the normal rent payment. 1 rent payment for the first month rent when the tenant moves in, and this is a deposit to like just save the unit and to show them that like you're serious about moving in. And then 1 month's rent, so 1 rent payment for the last month's rent. And this is used as a security deposit. And when the tenant moves out, they will not actually pay the last month's rent again. They'll get that security deposit applied to last month. It's like a promise that the tenant will continue to pay. And if he or she doesn't, then this amount will cover the final month before eviction, or like the move date. So example 3, additional costs associated with renting. Okay, so a lot of people think like, oh, this apartment's $800. I'm going to go move out. I have $800. Okay, but it's not this easy. So there are additional costs associated with moving. So Phil moves into a new apartment for $700 per month. Okay, so rent is $700. His landlord requires him to pay first and last months before moving in. Okay, so if you think about it, already he needs to pay 2 months rent. So just to move in, he has to pay $1,400. Okay, he must also pay the local hydro company, so like an electricity company, $200 deposit, and the gas company $150 deposit. Okay, electricity $200 and gas $150. So what happens sometimes is instead of hitting your credit, and because some individuals who are like 18 or 19 may not have established credit, sometimes you just have to pay a deposit, and then as long as you pay your payments for a whole year, at the end of that year, the company will put that money back on to your bill. Okay, so how much is Phil required to pay before moving in? So 2 months rent, electricity and gas, 4, 5, 6, 7, and we just add this all together. So just to move out, he's no longer paying that first month of $700. He's required to pay $1,750. Therefore, he will need to pay $1,750. All right, example 4. Use a spreadsheet to track expenses. So what we're going to do is we're going to set up an annual spreadsheet for the following costs. And I'm going to like scroll down as we put these in. Okay? So rent of $1,475 per month. Okay? Monthly. So we'll do this as a monthly sheet. Okay? Rent of $1,475. So in January you have to pay $1,475. In February you have to pay $1,475. Okay? And you're going to put this number all the way down. Okay, we'll do the total after. All right, so that one's done. Capable of $5,810 monthly. Okay, so this one's going to be the same thing, $5,810. And we're going to put it all the way down. $5,810, $5,810. All right, the cheap cable bill. All right, telephone bill, $68 monthly. So again, this is monthly, so that one's an easy one too. 68, and I'm not going to put the cents in there. I'm just going to write 68. All right, next one. Electricity bill of $240 every 2 months. Okay, so electricity is this one here. Okay, so this is going to be $240 in January, which will last January, February, March, April. May and June are going to be together. July and August are going to be together. September, October, and then November, December are going to be together. Okay, so that's every 2 months. So if you think about it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You pay it 6 times a year. Okay, water bill every 4 months. So this is water here. So let's put that we just paid in January. Okay, so $200. January, February, March, April. Then $200. May, June, July, August. $200. So if you pay something every 4 months, you're going to pay it 3 times a year. September, October, November, December. Those will be clustered together. Okay, and then in apartment insurance monthly, $22.75. So we're going to go back to the insurance here. And adding these up at the bottom is actually really easy. 22.75, 22.75. Because a lot of these expenses are monthly, and we can just multiply the original amount by 12. So let's do these totals first. If we do $14.75 and we multiply it by 12, we are going to get $17,700. If we take $58.10, we multiply that by 12, cable will be $697.20 annually. 68, so your cell phone multiplied by 12, $816. Insurance, $22.75 times 12, $273. Okay, now electricity is 6 times a year because it's every 2 months. So I'm going to take the $240 and I'm going to do it every 2 months. So I get $1440. Okay, and water is $200 and it's paid out 3 times a year, which is every 4 months. So that's $600. So now manually across the bottom, we have to add up. So 17,700, 697.20 plus 816 plus 273 plus 1440 plus 600. Okay, so in 1 year, it's going to be 21,526.20. That's not even including entertainment or food or gas or maintenance, any of that. Okay, so total monthly expenses. What we're going to do for total monthly expenses is we're going to go across. Okay, so $14.75 plus $58.10 plus 68 plus 22.75 plus 240 plus 200. Okay, so this one is 2,063.85. Now, I'm going to repeat this one in May as well, because all of the columns, or like this entire row is filled out for May and for September. So these are all going to be the exact same amount of money. Okay, so now, if we add all these up, and we ignore those last 2 columns, what we're going to get here is 1,623. 85. So I'm going to fill in every column that just goes up to here. So here again, 1,623, 85. Here, 1,623, 85, 1,623, 85. Here. So basically every other month is going to be 1623, 85. Now we're going to add 240 onto that for that next one here. 1863, 85. Okay, this is the same one, 1863, 85, because we can see a pattern here. 1863, 85. If you add all of these going down, it's going to give you this grand total for an entire year of moving out. So before you move out, really think about if you want to spend almost $22,000 of your take-home money.